lovely darling viewers, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy. This time I am talking about my goals from last year and how I did on it. Also, it's my 4-year booktube anniversary, so I've been making YouTube videos for 4 years now, pretty regularly. Most of them have been book related. I'm really proud of myself that I've gone for 4 years, especially when I first started doing it. I wasn't sure I was going to make it through an entire year, but I've made through 4. So, little mini party for that. And last year I went over my goals from 2017 and how I did. This is how I did on kind of those same goals from 2017 that I carried over into 2018. And pretty much these are also going to be my goals for 2019 because they're things that just continually still need to work on. But status update on all my goals. So the first goal I really wanted to work on was catching up on the backlog of videos sitting on my computer waiting to be edited. I have an awful habit of filming way more videos in a week than I post and edit at a time. Like to the point that there's routinely like 10 to 20 videos sitting on my computer. Currently, I have actually caught up and there's nothing like waiting on the computer. However, I am actually backed up on filming all my hauls, which is kind of what this mess of books here is. I don't want to shelve them because I want to keep them separate so I know which books I bought. But like, it's not just the stack. I've got several videos worth of hauls that I need to film. So I need to catch up on that. I think I stopped in May of filming haul videos regularly. I have several months worth of books sitting on my shelf that I need to talk about. I'm going to try to work on that. And also trying to keep the backlog low. On the other hand, I did end up getting sick a couple weeks ago and then didn't have anything to edit because I was too sick to film. But I was sitting on the couch and I really could have edited videos on my tablet if I had them on the computer to edit. So that wasn't great. I need to work on that. Okay, number 2 is seek out more diverse books. I forgot to go through what I read last year to see how well I did. Not having looked at what I actually read, I know I have like 80 videos and 100 total since I count graphic novels together. If I've read multiples, I count them as one on the videos. And also if I reread something, I don't refilm it. So that's why there's a difference between YouTube and Goodreads. Hold on. Okay. That, I don't know if you guys could hear the meowing, but I could. This is Offsides. He's my kitty. He was also in one of my first videos. Also super impressed that I still have Offsides because he's now 19 and a half, which is really old for cats. Yeah, it is. It's super impressive. Normally, house cats live to be 15 to 17 for indoor cats like Offsides. So being 19 is super impressive. He's geriatric. He's about the human equivalent of being 90 to 100. So I love him. I love you, babes. He doesn't like being in videos. He especially doesn't like being held like this. And he was meowing, which means he really wanted my attention for something like food. And I wasn't giving it to him. You don't like being in videos, do you? No. You gonna go? You gonna be quiet now? So yeah. Yes, my cat is still alive. There's a life update for you guys. I am super impressed that he's still with us and still pretty active. Sometimes he cries. I think that's just old age. I was like that old, I'm sure I would have aches and pains too that were upsetting me. Yeah. He's a cutie, but he's not always the quietest. Okay. Offsides got bought off with treats, in case you guys were worried about me just taking advantage of him. He got some cat treats for making that video. Also, I took the chance to go through my 2018 book list and seeing what I had actually read last year. Diversity-wise, it looks like I did really good with reading African-American authors in February for Black History Month, and then not so much the rest of the year. Also, only really read the Mercy Thompson books for Native American main characters, but they aren't even written by a Native American author, so that's really not great. LGBT-wise, I did read a bunch of LGBT books, actually becoming one of my, like, routine, genres now. So I've read, like, Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda. I read Ivy Aberdeen. Also read some books about characters that aren't normally abled. So read Everyday Hero by Kathleen Cherry, which has an autistic main character. There was another one in here somewhere. One of the romance novels, I think The Kiss Quotient, also had a main character with Asperger's syndrome, autism. Read some other books about characters besides just African Americans, like Exit West, which has main characters that are Muslim, that are refugees. I read more classics this year, really trying to reread some of my favorites so they actually get reviewed. So it's not just like brand new books all the time either. Purposely went back and tried to reread stuff that I enjoyed. I did pretty good about covering different types of books, so reading graphic novels, listening to audiobooks. But I still need to work on racial diversity and not just reading a ton of African American books in February and then calling it quits the rest of the year. Not that that was it for the entire year, but there was definitely like a huge concentration of like one a week in February, and like then they just trailed off. I definitely read a lot of asexual books. I only think I read 3 total, but they were all within the last year. So let's talk about Love by Claire Kahn, the Jughead comics, and Ladies Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzie Lee. I'll have main characters that are asexual. Read tons and tons of sci-fi, nothing surprising there. A bunch of young adults. Read a little more chick lit than I normally do, but I also really love chick lit. I think that was just like, I need to read it. I've been missing it. I read No One Can Pronounce My Name by Rakesh Satyal, which has Indian American, like from the subcontinent of India, main characters. Power by Naomi Alderman, where some of the main characters are in Africa and really around the world. Ivy Aberdeen's book is called Ivy Aberdeen's Letter to the World by Ashley Herring Blake, which has a young girl in like middle school who is figuring out that she's actually a lesbian for the first time, even though she doesn't quite know what those words are, but that she likes girls. I read Binti the Night Masquerade, so finished off that series. That's set in Africa. Read a bunch of the Black Panther comics. I also read I Am Alfonso Jones by Tony Medina, which is about the Black Lives Matter movement, and actually this kid Alfonso Jones is shot by a cop. While he's just out shopping, he thinks the hanger that he's holding is a handgun and shoots him. Alfonso Jones dies, but then we see his ghost and his perspective, and he meets a bunch of other famous African leaders who were also killed by police brutality or hate crimes. So we see like this history of this ongoing problem by seeing these other ghosts and hearing their stories, which I thought was really fascinating. So I need to work on the diversity thing still, especially racial diversity. I need to not just read African American authors, although I need to read more of them also, but I also need to read about other cultures like Asia and Africa, and I definitely need to read South America. I don't think I've read anything from South America of note. So that's definitely something that I personally need to work on still in the next year. Yeah, I do good about covering all the different genres and like hitting children's books and adult books and teen books and hitting graphic novels. Sometimes I even read poetry, even though that's really not my thing, but I still need to work on the racial stuff. And also like differently abled people. I know I have Blind sitting here, and I still haven't read it, but it's about seeing a teenager who can see at the beginning of the book, who then loses her sight, has to deal with suddenly being blind. Like, it's literally just sitting there, and I haven't read it, and I don't know why. It's not that I read any review that it was bad or anything, and I own it. I just haven't gotten to it. So really no reason for not reading the books I already own. So that one's middling also. To start big projects, I still haven't filmed any of these basic videos. So the basics of Harry Potter, or basics of science fiction or something. It's a goal I have in the back of my mind. It would be awesome, but it's also going to take a ton of research. and I am inherently lazy when it comes to that stuff, so haven't done it yet. As for my idea of adapting famous works into Lego movies, I did actually do one. It was A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. That was tons of fun, but it also took me like 3 to 4 weeks to do just the one video that was like 20 minutes long, and it was so much work. It's actually harder to like cut it all down, but I also think now that I've done it once, it'll be easier to do in the future. 'Cause, like, right now my Legos are actually sorted. Like, I know where all my minifigures are. I have all like the blues together and the things that look like the brown ones together look like wood. I've got some furniture that I made. So in the future it'll be easier to do it. I've also already done it, so I know some of the like hiccups. Actually, I had a problem with trying to take A Christmas Carol and just chop it down until it was short enough, rather than just rewriting it, which might have been easier to do in the first place. So depending on how long the next thing is, we might just have to start writing myself rather than trying to actually keep the author's original words. So I definitely want to do more, but I'm also not going to do them frequently. So I'm thinking maybe once a quarter. So I'm thinking once a season, one every few months. Definitely not going to be a weekly thing or even a monthly thing. So sporadically, you may see me adapting books into Legos. Let me know in the comments below if there's any book that you particularly want me to do. I'm going to try to stick to classics and books that are in the public domain so that I don't have to worry about spoiling books for people who maybe haven't actually read them yet. But also, I don't want to get into copyright problems. So books in the public domain, classics, are going to be a lot easier to do. So number 4 was varying the types of videos that I do. I really got into a rut of only doing book reviews and then top 5 Wednesdays and then occasionally book hauls. And actually this year I didn't even do good at filming my book hauls. So that is something I definitely need to work on in the future. I have tons of tag videos that I've like put into a playlist of tags to do and I haven't done them. Like, I know what the videos are. They're sitting there. I know what topics interest me. I just haven't actually done them. So I'm going to work on more tag videos. I also have, when I first started doing booktube, I thought I was going to do a ton of top 10 lists. So I actually just have the topics, like pages of just topics that I think would make good top 10 lists in one of my notebooks. So I also have those that I haven't done yet. I could also talk about things besides books. So I could talk about movies and television shows that I've been watching or games that I enjoy playing. So there's really tons of possibilities. I get stuck in doing the same thing every week. And I do read a lot, so having, if I'm only doing 3 videos a week and I've read 3 books that week, that's pretty much shot. So I might end up needing to post, spreading out my videos. So maybe I'm posting on Monday and Friday or something. So that's one thing I need to work on. I didn't really do good at that last year. In fact, I actually did worse. So not a great goal. Number 5 is finish writing an actual novel. Didn't do that. I did try to do NaNoWriMo this year. I was good for like a week and then I ended up behind. I was like half of where I needed to be. And then I kind of gave up. I'm really bad at motivating myself. Really bad at that. So that's something I need to work on. I think I have like 10,000 words now. I need to get to like 60,000 though to have a book, or like 100,000 would be great. Yeah, I don't know if this is ever going to happen. I feel like I'm always saying I want to write the book. I've got the plot, I've got the characters, but actually sitting down and writing scenes is like so hard for me. Occasionally I'll have like a dream where like the scene plays out and I just like scribble as fast as possible to try to write down everything I remembered. But most of the time I'm just like not that inspired. Okay, my next goal for the year was to make more art, and I did pretty good at this for a while. I actually took a painting, and I really like more abstract paintings with like just dots and lines and stuff. I tried to do some more like actual artsy stuff, but mostly I love just like making dots and designs on the paper that aren't really anything. I'm really good at abstract art apparently. And just messing around with things. I did a few try to actually make real things. Not a very good chicken. This one's one of my favorites. I don't know why. It just like resonates. I don't know if it's just the colors or the design, but I super loved this one. This one I ended up deciding it looked like grass. I liked that. I don't know. This just looks cool to me. So this is not what I thought I was going to end up painting. But this is what, like, I like zoning out and just, like, letting the paintbrush do its own thing. Which adds some really interesting results. Something like that. That's my kind of art. So, I have been actually making some art, but I also kind of dropped off in the last few months and I need to get back to it. I really like that one. I like that color combination. So, this one. This one was supposed to be roses. That reminded me of the Looking Glass Wars, of Queen Red's like dress. That's what that was supposed to be, just like a ton of like roses. I did some art, but not a ton. I really meant to do more. And then the one goal that I added last year was to grow my YouTube channel and try to get remonetized. I didn't do that. I did do better than last year, so I had like 150 subscribers at this time a year ago. Now I'm up to 236. Unfortunately, you need 1,000 subscribers to be monetized. So I'm still not there yet. Also, I have 46,000 minutes of watch time in 2018, but I need to get to 240,000 to be monetized. So I need to keep working on this. I'm like slowly growing, but not to the point where YouTube seems to value it. There is my recap of the last year and how I think I've done and what I want to keep working on next year, which is basically all the same stuff. Let me know in the comments below what are your favorite parts of my YouTube channel. What kind of videos do you want to see? Peace out. I love you guys and keep reading. Bye.